Today we are taking a peek at everything we've done so far in Unit 2, basically, which would cover Vertex Form, Standard Form, Focus and Directrix. Now again, keep your green sheet out and handy. If you need another one or never got one, look over in front of the folders. But I'm going to take a look at one of each of the different types here, just as a quick review, and then give you some time to be able to work on this in class. So on this front page, we're looking at everything being in Vertex Form. So I have it on my sheet over there, but I'm going to go ahead and write it out here just to remind me of a few things. So there's my Vertex Form, and again, my vertex then is H and K. So let's say we're doing number 1. First things first, my vertex, opposite of H. And then again, the plus K means keep the sign. It doesn't mean it becomes positive. So -3, -4. There's my vertex. When I go to make my chart, I'm going to get that vertex value in the middle. To get the values around the outer edges, again, I subtract 1 as I go to the left, just like I would on a number line. I add 1 as I go to the right, just like I would on a number line. Again, at this point, you can choose whether you're going to plug numbers in to get values. Maybe you only have a scientific calculator, so that's fine. Remembering that these two values for y will be the same, and so will these two, so I would only have to do it for 2. But since we're good students and we work well when we're in class, hopefully I'm not getting too many laughs when I say that, we're going to go ahead, get this typed in, make sure everything looks the same, go to our chart, get my vertex in the middle so I see the symmetry, so I see the same numbers above and below. And then basically, jot those values in, plot my points, and I can draw that in. So let's see, we named the vertex. The axis of symmetry, remember, it's just a quick little equation. The axis of symmetry is the x value of my vertex. Is it a max or a min? Again, if my vertex is at the top, that's the highest point, which would mean it's a maximum. And again, when we have a maximum, it's the y value that's the actual maximum value. So in this case, my max value would be at -4. And then focus and directrix. So, what a jerk of a teacher asking for all this stuff. So once I get that down, we're to our focus. Okay, my vertex is not at the origin. So I look, I'm like, okay, so focus. H, remember H and K are in my vertex. So -3, -4, plus 1 over 4a. And my a value is -2. Okay, lots of things to keep track of here. And like we talked about yesterday, we're going to clean this up. I'm going to do it in 2 separate steps. So let's see here. 4 times -2 is -8, so this is -1/8. And when you get down to this last step, okay, you've got choices. If you want to, you could type in -4 plus -1/8, or you could just do -1/8. Okay, and I don't mind if you go to a decimal for that. -3, 4.125. Remember, it's always going to be inside my parabola. So I've got my focus. my directrix, once I get that situated, is going to be y equals, pull my handy dandy help sheet back out, okay, k, negative 4, minus 1 over 4a. Now I can use a little bit of the help that I had up here. Let's try and clean this up. Negative times negative. You're like, wait a minute, negative times negative. Okay, 1 over negative 8 would be minus negative 1/8, but we know that when we do minus a negative, it becomes plus. So again, if I go to the calculator, if I want to do that, if I want to find my common denominator, whatever I want to do, just got to remember your parentheses when you're dealing with a fraction, though. So negative 3.875. That's my directrix. So just above the negative 4. A lot of stuff to deal with on a problem, but again, it's all stuff that's going to give us some practice. You know, after going through that first problem, I've lightened up here. I know that never happens with me, right? I lighten up. So let's do this. Okay, the assignment's going to be the even. She's like, oh, you just did an odd, though. Okay, I'll make it up. I'll make it up. Look through your package. You notice there's only going to be 6 problems that you have to do. So the first 4, and as I turn over, and those next couple, the first 6 are all in vertex form. Okay, so we'll use number 1 as our example for vertex form. When we get to 7 and beyond, and actually I'm going to go to the back page here. So let's say we get up to number, let's say 12. I'll do the first one and the last one here, and I even get an even out of the deal. And you're like, okay. So I look at this one, I'm like, hey, the vertex isn't there. It's true. And I got to find that first. So remember, to find the x value of my vertex, I have my little mini equation, negative b over 2a. And again, if we need a little review on that, my a is my value in front of x squared. My b is my value in front of x. My c is my value that's on the end that we call our constant term. So we have the opposite of b. The opposite of 8 is negative 8 over 2 times a, or 2 times 2, which is 4. So negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. Okay, that's the x value of my vertex. Now, we've talked about how before, I don't want to use the word cheat, because it's not cheating, it's just a little bit of a shortcut there. That's the word I want to use. So, I know the x value of my vertex. Before I write everything else in, because if I make a mistake, that's going to get kind of ugly here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get y equals. I'm going to type this in. And I'm going to pull up my graph. Now remember, negative 2 for x needs to be in the middle. Once I see that, before I write anything else, I'm going to see, do I see symmetry? If I go to that vertex and I go above and below it, do I see the same numbers? And I do. So now I feel comfortable doing my minus 1, my plus 1, plus 1. Because you see why I did that? If I'd have written all those out and then found out, oh crap, x was supposed to be 2 or something, that would have been kind of messy. So now I can go ahead and type in my y values. And see my symmetry. So we'll go ahead and we'll get these plotted. My parabola drawn in. And I got to remember all that other stuff that I got to do here. Let's see. Axis of symmetry. Again, that's just the x value that we calculated up here at the start. So x equals negative 2. So we've got that part. Let's see. That's my vertex, so I'll actually label it so people know I know what that is. Are we going to have a max or a min? Whoa, since our value here for our vertex is at the bottom of the graph, we're going to have a minimum value. And that minimum value, again, is just the y value there. So our minimum value is going to be 1. And we'll talk more about that next week again with the application problems. So once we have those set, now we're ready for focus and directrix. So again, focus. My vertex is not at 0, 0, not at the origin. We're going to go ahead, we're going to pull this up. And again, if we want to, it might not be a bad idea to actually write out my vertex here. Because then I have h and k right in front of my face. So h, k plus 1 over 4. Where'd a go? Well, there's a. A is 2. And now we're just back to the cleanup game again. 4 times 2 is 8. So this is 1/8. And then just that quick addition. And I'm just going to, again, if you want to do it and go to a decimal, which I think could be 1.125, you can do that. Not necessary. You can just leave it as a mixed number like this. I don't care. If you hit math enter and got 9/8, it's still the same answer. Still inside the parabola. That's good. Focus in, directrix out. And speaking of directrix, y equals, oh, my k is right off the screen here. Well, hopefully you wrote it down. 1 minus 1 over 4a. So 1 minus 1/8. And again, if you go to the decimal, it's fine. Now, if you're coming up and asking me on every single one of your questions, if I have a fraction, you have a decimal, is this the right decimal? Is this the right decimal? I'm going to go punch my fraction into your calculator and see if my decimal is the same, because otherwise we got to be able to deal with this a little bit. So there's my directrix. It is below there, which is always a happy thing to me. And that covers it. That covers everything we've done for these first 4 days. So again, your job is to complete the other evens. You have 5 left to do, so that's not asking too much, I don't think. But check the review up front, check the parts, and we'll answer any questions if you got them. You got this.